All right, welcome to Talkin Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about CORZ Scientific, stock ticker CORZ. CORZ Scientific is a Bitcoin mining company. We cover Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel. So, CORZ recently put out their operational report for the month of October, and there's a bunch of other news surrounding CORZ, and their stock is having some wild reactions. So, I want to go through all of that. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, I really appreciate it. Lastly, you can become a member of the channel by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. So if you don't see a join button, there should be a link below. Members have some members-only content. In addition to that, we have a members-only live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. So it's only $5 a month. You're welcome to join us there. So I want to go through a series of events. I did do a video on this about 3 weeks ago. They did a filing with the SEC. I went through that. I did do a deep dive. You can see that in this video right here. I'll go through it super quick in this video just to give an update as to what that situation was. But as a result, their stock is now down 99%. I want to go through their operational update, and I want to talk about what's happening with the company. The first thing is, I think a lot of people assumed that this company was automatically going to go out of business or automatically file for bankruptcy. So if you watch my last video, you'll see I make it a point to say this was a disastrous situation for them, no doubt, but it does not mean that they're going out of business, and it doesn't mean that they're going immediately into bankruptcy, and it doesn't even mean they're going to stop mining Bitcoin. And you're going to see, really, they have seamlessly been mining Bitcoin ever since. So this is one of those situations that really could go either way. So, okay, they're trading at 22.5 cents right now. That is down from about $15 a year ago. They've had several good days in a row, and this being another one. Bitcoin is fairly even and flat on the day, and if anything, over the last week, Bitcoin's done poorly. However, CORZ Scientific has been raging. So this brings them up to an $80 million market cap. For those of you who watch the channel, you know I like to put that in perspective and compare that to their market cap over the course of time. Now, CORZ is a new company. They just started trading publicly in 2022. You'll see they opened at $3.2 billion market cap. They peaked at a $3.35 billion market cap on February 8th. By the time August rolled around, this was down to a $1 billion market cap. It's now down to an $80 million stock. So this stock was down 99% in market cap. It was down 99% in share price. So this stock has been taken out. And again, they did have some very bad news. Let me go through the operational update and show you what they're actually doing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to point out is daily Bitcoin mined 44.4. That was on 11/14/22. That was yesterday. This is actually a little bit more than they were doing in the month of October. So I expect November to either compete with or beat October and maybe be the best month from a number of Bitcoin mined standpoint that CORZ Scientific has ever had. Now, their problem is not their mining. Their mining, they have scaled up to by far the biggest Bitcoin miner. Their problem is cash flow, and debt. So we'll get to that, but in the meantime, let's take a look. Like I said, CORZ Scientific has not ceased operations. They are mining more than ever. CORZ Scientific's self-mining operations produced 1,295 Bitcoin in October. As of October's month end, the company operates approximately 143,000 self-mining servers, accounting for approximately 59% of the company's total fleet. The rest is co-location hosting that they do, and represents a self-mining hash rate of 14.4 exahash. So as of the end of October, that was another increase month over month. That makes them the biggest Bitcoin miner publicly traded in North America from an exahash standpoint and from a Bitcoin mined standpoint by a mile. There's nobody even mining half as many Bitcoin as CORZ Scientific. However, with all of that said, they do have this other issue that could potentially put them out of business. I don't know that we have enough information, and for me personally, this is beyond my risk-reward tolerance, but there is the potential for monumental upside in this because they are the biggest Bitcoin miner. So if they can find a way to get through this problem, then this stock could double or triple or quadruple and still be down 95% from its highs of the last year. So, you know, that's a scenario that is not impossible. Okay, during the month of October, the company sold 2,285 Bitcoin at an average price of $19,639 per Bitcoin for total proceeds of $44.8 million. As of October 31st, 2022, the company held 62 Bitcoin and approximately $32 million in cash. This is a company that had over 10,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They're producing over 1,000 Bitcoin a month. They sold every Bitcoin that they produced in the month of October and almost every single Bitcoin that they had left in their entire company. They were down to 62 Bitcoin. So for all intents and purposes, they have sold their Bitcoin, and this is their issue. They have a liquidity issue, so they've liquidated all their Bitcoin. They've spent all that part of their current assets. They have 32 million in cash, but you can see they spent 44.8 million just in the month of October alone. So they are upside down. A lot of this has to do with the massive amount of debt they have. So there's interest and principal to cover on that. In addition to that, obviously they have to cover their direct cost of mining and overhead costs. So all that put together, unfortunately, is an equation where at Bitcoin 17,000 or 20,000, that equation is not working for them. This was not a problem at Bitcoin 40,000. All right, so they filed this Form 8K on October 27th with the SEC. So I'm not going to do the whole thing on this, but I just at least want to let you know what's going on here. They are going to default on their loans here in late October and early November. So that has already kicked in. There's a grace period. We'll see what happens at the end of that. But this could be the first domino in a series of things. They later go on to say, it is very difficult to estimate our future liquidity requirements. The company anticipates that existing cash resources will be depleted by the end of 2022 or sooner. They don't know if they can stay in business. So this is what they filed with the SEC coming up on 3 weeks ago. So obviously this caused an already crashed stock to crash another 80% approximately in just one day. And it went down even significantly since then. We'll look at the charts, but ultimately it ended up down 99%. And remember, this stock just started trading this year. So the question then becomes, is there something to salvage here? Are they going to be able to restructure this debt? Are they going to be able to take some steps necessary to get to the liquidity needed in order to stay in business? Or is the default that this triggers going to cause a cascading effect of defaults and force them into bankruptcy, in which case you're looking at a completely different scenario. Even if it's a reorganization, it's very difficult to determine if there's anything left for shareholders at the end of that process, even if the company itself survives that process. So, those are the two sides of this coin that we're looking at. Massive monthly production, the biggest Bitcoin miner by far, but they are facing the imminent threat of going bankrupt. Okay, so then a few days ago they filed this. CORZ Scientific Inc. was unable to, without unreasonable effort and expense, to file its quarterly report on Form 10Q for the period ended September 30th, 2022. They did not file the 10Q, so we can't really get a look at their balance sheet. That is going to be important. We've looked at their June balance sheet in detail in my last deep dive. We want to see the September 30th balance sheet, and even that is actually not even necessarily going to be up-to-date enough information, because you can see in October they liquidated almost 100% of the remainder of their Bitcoin, and they had very little cash left. So, this is a very, very fluid, volatile situation. Back at June 30th, their digital assets, their Bitcoin, was already down to a value of $40 million from $234 million at December 31st. That's due to a combination of the fact that the price in Bitcoin's gone down quite a bit, but mostly due to the fact that they had liquidated a large portion of it. Well, now we know they've liquidated all of the rest of it. They had only 62 Bitcoin left. But what really stands out on this balance sheet is, so the current portion of their notes payable are $217 million, and the long-term portion is another $852 million. So this company has over $1 billion in debt that they need to pay, and at the moment, the interest and principal on that has just run them over because of the vast decrease in the price of Bitcoin. All right, so if I look at the CORZ Scientific chart, this is the CORZ Scientific on the 1 week time frame. I just want to show you big picture. This company just started trading. So they're down from last November to this November. They are down 99%. So that's obviously catastrophic. Let's zoom in a little bit and look, because here's a closer look. Bitcoin had a nice rally back in August, so all the Bitcoin miners rallied along with it. CORZ Scientific got up to $3.50. Now that's a far cry from the $15 they were a year earlier, but still, since that point in August, so that was just 3 months ago, they're now down 93% just in the last 3 months. And you can see there was a gigantic gap. If you see this big gap right here, that was the day they put the press release out that basically said they are defaulting on their loans, and obviously their stock went from bad to worse. They had already taken out their all-time low, which was back in June at around $1.40. They were already trading somewhere in the 80 or 90 cent range. Ultimately, they got down as low as about 12 cents. So since then, which was just 5 days ago, there have been a significant run-up. So I'm going to zoom in even again to show you what's happened in the last week. Okay, so here's this week's activity. When I zoom in, you can't even see the rest of their activity. There was such a gigantic gap down. So from the bottom that they hit just 5 days ago, this stock is up 84% at a time when really Bitcoin's actually down from where it was 5 days ago. So obviously there's some confidence coming back into this stock. It's getting repriced. I think the market does not know how to price the risk on this. So there have been wild fluctuations. But like I said, even if it were to get back to just down 95% from its 1-year high, that could still cause this stock to potentially triple. So there is a lot of potential upside in this. And obviously, if they make it all the way through and survive without going bankrupt, and they're able to restructure their debt and get through this, this could be a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x. Again, this is not financial advice, but those things have already happened inside of the Bitcoin mining industry. So it would not be unthinkable. Having said that, obviously the exact opposite is true. They've already told us there's a really good chance they may go bankrupt, which means their stock's going to go to zero potentially. So this one remains a gigantic risk reward. I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed and up to date on everything that's happened since the last time we talked about CORZ Scientific. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Remember, you can join the channel by hitting the join button. And remember to smash the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next video.